Every day you flip a switch and lights turn on. You open a tap and clean water flows. You travel, connect, and communicate without thinking twice. None of this happens by accident. Beneath streets, behind walls, and far outside cities, massive systems are working non-stop. They're rarely seen, rarely discussed, and almost never appreciated. When they work, life feels normal. When they fail, everything stops. Today, we are revealing the infrastructure you never think about, but depend on every single day.
When people hear the word infrastructure, they often imagine roads, bridges, or large construction projects. In reality, infrastructure is much broader and more fundamental. Infrastructure includes all the systems that allow society to function smoothly without constant attention. Electricity networks, water pipes, sewage systems, data cables, traffic control systems, and maintenance networks all fall under infrastructure. These systems operate continuously in the background, coordinating millions of actions every second. Most people interact only with the results, not the process. Lights turn on, water flows, waste disappears. Because infrastructure works reliably, it fades into the background of daily life. Only when it fails does it become visible. Understanding infrastructure means recognizing that modern life depends on layers of systems quietly supporting every routine action we take.
Electricity feels instant, but the systems behind it are complex and fragile. Power plants generate electricity far from where it is used. Transmission lines carry it across long distances. Substations regulate voltage before electricity reaches homes and businesses. Control systems constantly balance supply and demand to prevent outages. Most of this process is automated and invisible. People notice electricity only when it stops working. A short blackout can shut down transportation, communication, and commerce within minutes. Because power systems are hidden and highly technical, they are easy to take for granted. Yet, modern life cannot function without them. Every screen, appliance, and network depends on electricity delivered reliably through infrastructure that most people never think about. Clean water appears instantly when a tap is opened, but the infrastructure behind it is extensive. Water must be collected, treated, tested, stored, and distributed through underground pipes. Wastewater then travels through separate systems to treatment facilities, where it is cleaned before release. These systems protect public health and prevent disease. Because pipes and treatment plants are hidden underground or far from cities, they rarely receive attention. When water systems fail, consequences are immediate and serious. Contamination, shortages, or flooding can disrupt entire communities. Water and waste infrastructure is among the most critical systems in society, yet it remains largely invisible. Its success depends on constant maintenance, monitoring, and investment that most people never notice. Transportation infrastructure is more than roads and rails. It includes traffic signals, scheduling systems, maintenance crews, control centers, and safety monitoring networks. Trains follow precise timetables managed by software. Traffic lights adjust flows automatically. Airports rely on layered systems coordinating ground crews, air traffic control, and logistics. Most travelers only see the surface, vehicles moving and signals changing. Behind the scenes, infrastructure ensures timing, safety, and efficiency. When transportation systems fail, cities slow or stop. Delays spread quickly, affecting work, supply chains, and emergency services. Because transportation infrastructure works continuously, people expect it to function without thinking about how complex it truly is. Invisible infrastructure creates efficiency, but it also creates dependence. As systems become more reliable, people stop thinking about alternatives. Daily life adapts to constant availability of power, water, transportation, and connectivity. When infrastructure fails, many people are unprepared to respond. Because systems are interconnected, a failure in one area can trigger problems elsewhere. Power loss can disrupt water supply.
Transportation failure can halt food delivery. This dependence increases risk during emergencies. Understanding infrastructure helps explain why modern disruptions feel sudden and overwhelming. Infrastructure is not just technical support, it shapes how societies function, plan, and respond to crisis. The more invisible it becomes, the more important it is to understand how it works. Modern communication feels instant, but it relies on vast infrastructure hidden underground and across oceans. Phone calls, messages, and internet traffic travel through fiber optic cables, cellular towers, satellites, and data exchange points. These systems operate continuously, routing enormous amounts of data every second. When you send a message, it may pass through multiple countries before reaching its destination. Most users never see these processes because interfaces make communication feel simple. When communication infrastructure fails, coordination breaks down quickly. Emergency services, businesses, and personal connections are affected at once. Because communication networks are invisible and highly technical, they are often ignored until disruption occurs. Yet they form the backbone of modern coordination, enabling everything from remote work to global commerce. The internet feels virtual, but it depends on very physical infrastructure. Data centers store, process, and transmit the information used by apps, websites, and cloud services. These facilities contain thousands of servers, cooling systems, power backups, and security controls. Data centers must operate continuously with minimal downtime. Even short interruptions can affect millions of users. Most people never see these buildings, even though they support daily communication, entertainment, and work. As digital dependence increases, data centers grow larger and more energy-intensive. They require reliable electricity, cooling, and network connections. Understanding data centers reveals that the digital world is grounded in physical infrastructure that must be carefully maintained. Infrastructure does not survive on construction alone. It survives through constant maintenance. Inspection schedules, repair crews, monitoring sensors, and replacement plans keep systems functional over time. Bridges are checked for structural stress. Power lines are inspected for damage. Water pipes are monitored for leaks. Most of this work happens quietly, without public attention. When maintenance is delayed, risks accumulate invisibly. Failures often appear sudden, but they usually result from long-term neglect. Maintenance systems are critical because they prevent small issues from becoming disasters. Despite their importance, maintenance budgets are often reduced because benefits are not immediately visible. Understanding maintenance infrastructure explains why prevention matters more than reaction. When infrastructure fails, the effects rarely stay isolated. Modern systems are deeply interconnected. A power outage can disable water pumps, communication networks, and transportation systems. A transportation failure can interrupt food delivery and emergency services. These cascading effects spread quickly, amplifying disruption. Because systems depend on each other, resilience becomes a major challenge. Many failures appear sudden, but they often reveal hidden vulnerabilities. Infrastructure failure exposes how dependent modern life has become on uninterrupted system performance. Recovery can take days, weeks, or longer, depending on the scale of damage. Understanding cascading failures helps explain why modern disruptions feel overwhelming and why redundancy and backup systems are essential. Infrastructure shapes how societies function, grow, and respond to crises. Because it operates quietly, it is often ignored in public conversation. Awareness changes that. When people understand infrastructure, they better understand risk, investment, and long-term planning. Infrastructure decisions affect safety, equity, and economic stability. Systems that are invisible still reflect human priorities and choices. As cities grow and technology advances, infrastructure becomes more complex and more critical. Awareness does not require technical expertise, it requires recognizing that everyday convenience is built on systems that need care and accountability.
Understanding infrastructure is not just about engineering, it is about understanding how the modern world is supported, protected, and sustained.
Infrastructure is easy to ignore because it works quietly in the background. But every light, signal, and connection depends on systems built, maintained, and protected over time. Understanding these systems changes how we see everyday life. The real question is not whether infrastructure matters, it is how well we take care of the systems we depend on.